WXYZ.com. You can see how those funds are distributed, with Detroit getting well over $800 million. Many communities getting almost their entire yearly budget. 7 Action News reporter Jennifer Ann Wilson shows you how that money could be spent and how it could impact you, and if we could end up paying for this in the long run.
Some municipalities say they could forgive everybody's property taxes and still have
Yes, everybody, it is finally happening. New direct deposits are going to be made for the millions of you guys on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. So, we have a ton of news about this video, and we have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check. Remember, the whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. It's very important for me to provide you guys with this information, and I know how important a fourth stimulus check is, and that's why I do my very best in doing and spending hours and hours of research and planning out this video and researching the topic about fourth stimulus payments and giving you guys the most important stimulus check updates. It's my goal to provide you guys with the most important information around the fourth stimulus check and Social Security. Because folks, right now it's January and Social Security recipients can look forward to bigger benefit checks in just a few days. Back in October, the SSA has already announced a 2023 cost of living adjustment that it will be 8%, the biggest boost in 40 years. And the biggest COLA for 2023 should help seniors who have struggled with soaring costs for everything from gas and food and even housing. Social Security payments in January will be made according to the same monthly schedule, with the payments going out on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesdays of every month. But folks, listen to this. The cost of living adjustment is far from the only change heading into 2023. There will be changes in Social Security disability thresholds, Social Security earnings limits, and Medicare premiums deducted from Social Security payments. So far, folks, this year's adjustment will raise the average payment for retired workers by $150 a month, from $1,700 to $1,900 in 2023. And according to the Social Security Administration, the maximum benefit for Social Security claimants for retirement age will be $3,627 a month, folks. That's increasing from $3,000 in 2022. Not only that, everybody, but listen to this. The new Social Security payment amount will start this month for most Social Security beneficiaries. For those receiving SSI benefits, the new payment amounts have already begun going out on December 30th. So, many experts have already said that the 5.9% COLA that Social Security recipients got in 2022 was ineffective in battling an inflation rate that spent much of the year above 8%. Plus, to make matters worse, a record high increase in Medicare Part B premiums meant that Social Security recipients had even more deducted from their monthly payments. Healthcare has gotten more expensive for everyone over the past few years, folks, and that's especially hard on seniors. We all know that's the truth, because most seniors rely on Medicare, but that brings expenses of its own, and it doesn't even cover everything. Unfortunately, the government is making a few changes to the program this year that should help seniors out a little bit. Original Medicare is composed of Part A and Part B. Part A is the hospital insurance, which covers inpatient care at hospital and nursing facilities, folks, and most people don't even have to pay any premiums for that. Part B is the medical insurance, and this covers outpatient medical care, including most doctor visits, and it's a deductible and a premium for this. In 2022, we know that most people pay $170 a month and have a deductible of $233, but premiums are falling to $164 in 2023, and deductibles are dropping to $226. That's all a lot of money. Some high earners will already pay more than this, but they too will see their rates fall compared to 2022. Even Nancy Pelosi announced that the House would once again raise its staff salary cap. So Nancy Pelosi said, "As you know, our working patriotic congressional staffers carry a lot of responsibility. So we're going to increase their pay and pay them more and take care of the people in Congress before the American people." That's not what Nancy Pelosi said all in all, but it's something around that. She said, "Our hardworking patriotic congressional staffers are important to the Constitution." Do you agree with this, folks? Do you agree that the people in Congress should be getting paid more money than you guys? I personally don't believe that. Pelosi already raised the maximum salary to $200,000 a year, after more than a decade of stagnating staff salaries. So far, Pelosi stated at the end, "We must do all we can to recruit the best talent in the nation and help out communities and reflect the congressional workforce." So folks, I personally think that Joe Biden should do better for the American people. He should definitely do more in sending out stimulus payments, and Nancy Pelosi has to do more too, because it's very important for stimulus payments to be sent out.
Hey, Becky, yeah, the Fed is supposed to be listening to the data, be data dependent, but it's sounding a little tone deaf these days. Wage growth, as you said, slowed. Inflation is down, but Fed rhetoric remains as hawkish as ever. focused almost solely on the inflation risk, not the economic risk. Bostic said, Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic telling us there's more work to do. Esther George on Wednesday told us that the 5% rate should go well into 2024. Tom Barkin on Friday said the inflation fight isn't over. And the Minutes on Wednesday told us that no official is expecting cuts in 2023. Meanwhile, the ISM service sector contracted. December wage growth slowed. November was revised down sharply. That was the one everybody was scared about. 5-month annualized inflation is running around 2.5%. To be sure, the unemployment rate did fall by 0.2, but here's how the market reacted to all that data on Friday. The 2-year fell in 2 steps from the jobs number and then again ISM services, a sign that it sees both the inflation and the economic weakness that's out there. You couldn't see that kind of drop in the Fed rhetoric anyway. The appearance, at least by looking at the comments, is that Fed officials are not really data dependent. Instead, it looks like they've got this idea in their head to go to 5% or higher almost no matter what. Charles Calamaris, a former Columbia professor, talked to him over the weekend. He said, what's strange at this moment when things are so ambiguous is for the Fed to be acting like their actions are so predictable. The Fed may have it right. Inflation is a persistent threat, and there's been no progress to warrant a backing off. That may be correct. Or they may be making a mistake similar to the one they made last year.
Most taxpayers should not be surprised or necessarily worried if they received an IRS adjustment letter. Now, this letter usually concerns itself with detailing incorrect information entered on your filing. This information can be contested in dispute if you feel like an error has been made. And Yahoo News has said that if your letter requires a response or other action, take care of it as soon as possible. If you owe money to the IRS, you want to deal with it right away. Now, here's some big news from Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is among the popular senators in the country after seeing his favorability skyrocket back home over the past year. Now, reports say that Manchin has faced backlash from progressives nationally. About 57% of West Virginia voters viewed him favorably in results. Now, his popularity jumped 17 points, which is more than any other senator compared to the same period last year. Manchin has frequently staked out his positions that found him at odds with the White House and progressive leaders. But I believe that President Biden, Democrats, Republicans, and Joe Manchin can do something for the American people. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments.
I want to talk today about one of the worst repeat offenders in our entire financial system, Wells Fargo. In 2016, Wells Fargo's fake account scandal was exposed. The company's leadership had squeezed their employees to create 3.5 million unauthorized bank accounts. Director Chopra, do you recall how much Wells Fargo was fined in 2016 for this fake account scandal?
I want to say it was $185 million.
That's right, including $100 million